Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines we have here for you. We got Caitlin Long on Elon Musk and X.com. We got more countries dumping the U.S. dollar. It should bother you because I know it's bothering me. Did we just find the answer to why Signet Bank was taken over when it wasn't insolvent? I think we may have. Bank of England on CBDCs and programmability. ISO 20022 Stellar Network and USDC. Oh, it's coming together. And a FOIA request that could really shatter the SEC versus Ripple, ladies and gentlemen. John Deaton says the SEC versus Ripple case is the case of the century. And XRP price, could we be near all-time highs by the end of this year? Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on Twitter and YouTube for exclusive content. Right now, we are looking at 52 cents for XRP, ranging between 50 and 54 cents. Bitcoin, 28,400 plus. We got a $1.25 trillion market. The market is up 1.1%. 1914 and change for Ethereum. $80.1 billion market cap for Tether. You better keep your eye on that, ladies and gentlemen. 51 cents for XRP. We're up 2% on the 24-hour. We'll keep an eye on it. Again, XRP Las Vegas. It's 30 days and counting, ladies and gentlemen. The tickets are going to sell out. That ain't hype. That's a fact. And if you want to go, you better get your ticket. I know a lot of people are like, well, I'm going to wait and see. Look, there's a lot going on that weekend. The Kentucky Derby, Las Vegas is a betting town, right? Grand Prix happening that weekend. Cinco de Mayo's happening that weekend, and XRP Las Vegas is happening that weekend for the first time ever. Do not mess around. Get your ticket. By the way, rooms are sold out, but the tickets are not, and there aren't many left. So the discount rooms are, in fact, sold out. Look at all these incredible people that you're going to see and meet. I'm telling you right now, you're not going to want to mess around, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a remarkable experience. We have so much in store and so much that you don't even know about. Make sure you get your ticket before they run out, ladies and gentlemen. Let's start right here. Caitlin Long lays it down and predicts Elon Musk is working to rebuild Twitter into a payments platform while he masterfully misdirects everyone's attention. Take a listen to this. And by the way, this is all based around the Doge logo here instead of the blue bird. Take a listen.
This Twitter acquisition isn't about politics. All this misdirection about getting people fighting with each other and talking politics and talking smack and all the censorship, right? He misdirected everybody's attention because guess what he's really doing? He's using Twitter as a payments platform. Mm-hmm. And that's what he's been after his whole career. Okay. Keep in mind, he's one of the co-founders of PayPal, one of the original original X.com. And he's been trying to create better payments. And yesterday, this got so caught up in the drama. I look at that as misdirection as well. Just as Elon is trying to misdirect people to fight with each other over politics while he's really building a payment system, the same thing's true in the crypto world. Everybody's looking at the drama and rubbernecking at the crypto crash. And those of us who are actually really working on building better payment interactions and payment experiences and better, faster, cheaper, more secure payment systems, that's the signal through the noise.
Yes, it is. And you know what? Shout out to Caitlin Long because she knows what's going on. There's no question about it. But you have to wonder, the Dogecoin there, knowing that the SEC versus Ripple, by the way, we're getting ready to hear from John Deaton, and you're going to want every single bit of it. But if SEC versus Ripple case comes out favorable to Ripple and XRP, the digital asset, well, I wonder if he'd replace that Doge logo with an X. He does love X. X.com, SpaceX. His kid's name is X. We shall see. This here from GlimpPay, ladies and gentlemen. Love my sponsor. You need to check them out. Click the link underneath the video. See if it's right for yourself. Buy, save, spend, and send gold. Use it every day as you need to. Stockpile it and have a MasterCard debit card to go along with it. And nobody knows you're holding physically allocated gold because you can spend it like cash. Gold prices in India have been on a roll, almost doubling in the last 4 years. Indian citizens are buying gold as the paper currency. The rupee loses purchasing power. Well, that's something we know here at home too, don't we? Because Malaysia, China to discuss Asian fund to cut U.S. dollar dependency, ladies and gentlemen. This is from the Malaysia Prime Minister Anwar. Revives proposal for Asian Monetary Fund. President Xi welcomes further talks, says Anwar. And I tell you, this is just one of many of a cascading effect, because now we're seeing even a more vocal Saudi Arabia as the crown prince himself has told associates that Riyadh is no longer interested in pleasing the United States. Again, I remind everybody, you do not get to do these things without the U.S.'s approval to say and do these things. They have a petro agreement. And not only is it the agreement of the Saudi Arabian and Middle Eastern countries and OPEC to use all sales of U.S. dollars for the petrodollar to be bought and sold in U.S. dollars to elevate its status as a global reserve currency, it is the U.S.'s job on the other side of that equation and agreement to provide military protection. Now, the U.S. is not really speaking on this matter. So you know that they have. You would not do this if you were looking for military protection from the country you're working with unless you had an alternative figured out. This here is stablecoin issuer Tether. Use Signature Bank to transfer U.S. dollar funds from the U.S. to the Bahamas. Now, look, you remember when Signature Bank was first taken over, political figure and then went to work at Signature Bank, Barney Frank, started hollering to anybody who would listen. Signature Bank is not insolvent. So the government out and out took the bank over, and it wasn't even insolvent, according to Barney Frank. And Tether CTO Palau Ardonio says here that there is no exposure for Tether. And everything they say there at Tether is, oh, we're not exposed. This doesn't bother us. That doesn't matter. Deltec Bank, this is okay. Nothing's wrong. Okay. I offer the speculation that maybe, just maybe, Signature Bank was taken down by the U.S. government because of this, knowing that Tether was using Signature Bank to move money and U.S. dollars. Maybe it's just one more way to cripple that stablecoin, USD Tether, before the final move. Remember, the U.S. Treasury, Department of Justice, the Federal Reserve have never spoken about Tether. It could have already been flipped and be under the control in an investigation of the U.S. government. We don't know, but I tell you this, the Signet Bank in the relationship with USD Tether is screaming red flags to me of why Signature Bank was taken over. Now here we see, stepping away from stable coins and looking at digital pound, central bank digital currency, they're claiming Bank of England says it won't be programmable, ladies and gentlemen. You don't have to worry. Nothing to fear here. Well, look, if they're going to get that right, if we're going to, as citizens, whether you're in England, U.S., or some other place in the world, if we're going to get that right, CBDCs will not be anonymous money, says Miss Fortune. However, the objective is that the central bank and government would not be able to access the information that would be done by this private sector layer. This is exactly what I've been talking about, understanding that we can't stop the digital dollars coming, the CBDCs that are coming, just like they've got private stable coins out here, right? But the reality here is, for me, is that if you don't put some kind of private layer in between the federal government, they won't be able to help themselves. They're going to do something really bad to the money. I can feel it coming. Now, here is a connection that I know we can all appreciate. Again, ISO 20022 is a payment messaging standardization that's taking place. ISO 20022 has been around for more than a decade, but it has been chosen to be the standardized move to that the financial system is moving to and towards using. This will allow for digital assets to be integrated and used along with ISO 20022, like CBDCs or USDC or XLM or XRP. Yeah, don't believe it. It's still true because this is exactly what BPV announced. They're saying right here, essentially, has completed development of support for ISO 20022 on the Stellar blockchain, ladies and gentlemen. This makes you understand that even though there is no true thing as ISO 20022 tokens, this is where the slang comes from, because you see the interoperability between that messaging and the Stellar blockchain, and then they talk about the integration as well. We know USDC is integrated as well, as you can see right here on the Stellar blockchain too. So now you can see the marriage between the messaging system, the Stellar network, and a stable coin like Circle USDC. Game, set, and match. Right? That's what I'm seeing. And this may be game, set, and match here. Ashley Prosper, shout out to Ashley Prosper, said they filed a FOIA request because communications between the SEC and JP Morgan directly led to the December 2020 lawsuit against Ripple Labs over XRP being a security. If that is right, and shout out to Ashley Prosper, if that is right, I think Digital Asset Investors got it right here, and shout out to him for all he did to help bring attention to my channel being hacked, and every one of you as well. I am so grateful for everybody that helped bring attention to that to get our channel and our email back. These emails may be bigger than the Hinman emails that we all know and have heard, at least from Brad Garlinghouse from Ripple, that they are shameless. And imagine if the FOIA request plays out, and they are trying not to give up any information here, but they say we recently received the search results and we are now in the process of reviewing the records. Based on our initial review of the records, it appears that a large portion of the records will require that we engage in the CT substantiation process, which involves records for which confidential treatment was requested at the time of their submission. Engaging in this type of consultation will add approximately 60 days to the review time. Can you please advise to whether you are willing to exclude information for which CT was requested to speed the completion of the review for your FOIA request? Well, I tell you what, I think Ashley Prosper is on to something here. We know that JP Morgan is really the largest controller of Ethereum. The plot thickens, ladies and gentlemen. The plot thickens. Operation Choke Point here from Crypto Law. Shout out to them. Give them a follow. Make sure you're checking out the Connect to Congress. Take action. They've made it as easy as anybody could. It is happening again today, they say, on a much bigger scale against legal U.S. companies that use crypto technology for their product offering. It was illegal then, and it's illegal now. The complete lack of clear rules around what makes which cryptocurrency a security or not in the hole through Gary Gensler has been driving his tanks. Anything can be a Section 5 violation, an expensive business-destroying SEC lawsuit. If the rules are whatever Gary Gensler lawyers want to allege, the SEC's goal in suing Ripple was clear: to destroy it quickly and frighten the rest of the industry with its corpse. A summary judgment ruling is expected, listen to this, any day from the judge, and legal scholars think it will end up in the Supreme Court due to the SEC's unconstitutional tactics. It hasn't stopped Gensler, and who now has his sights set on Coinbase. The SEC approved its IPO, knowing its business model was the legal trading of digital assets. It would take some incredible gall for Gary Gensler to now claim that Coinbase business model is non-compliant. It would also be illegal. You know, I have said this, and I'm certainly 12 years short of a law degree, that I believe this thing was going to the Supreme Court in some shape or part, but it doesn't mean that Ripple doesn't get a victory, ladies and gentlemen. If you go back and look at Howey, SEC versus Howey, and Howey got the Howey test, it had to go to the Supreme Court, but the SEC didn't win all the way to the Supreme Court. Howey did. Use that example in your mind. I'm not saying that that would happen, but it could be likely that Ripple wins all the way to the Supreme Court, which means the door would be wide open for U.S. adoption all the way around. The entire time they would be going through the appeal process and the Supreme Court, should it go there. I want you to listen to what John Deaton says here. This is the case of the century. And John is spot on here. Shout out to John Deaton for this. Take a listen.
This decision gets bigger and bigger. So I just want you to think about those of you out there who are thinking about this. Why hasn't she ruled yet? What I doubt very seriously that Judge Torres has ever felt the pressure that she's feeling right now. Ripple is sending, hey, Judge, look what the judge in Voyager said. Look what the Judge Gorsuch at the Supreme Court said about fair notice. All of these things are happening after. She's getting more information. Look at the SEC's conduct. Look at Binance. Look at the CFTC. All of this stuff is happening in the background where you got guys like me saying the regulatory clarity is going to come from her. You've got the library decision. You don't think she's aware of all this? So this decision is as big of a decision that this judge has ever faced. Think about it. What other decision is as big as this decision when it comes to global trade and finance in modern history? I've said before that this case is the most significant non-fraud SEC enforcement action since 1946. So that kind of pressure, personally, I don't blame Judge Torres for being very careful of how she words this decision because A, if it goes against Ripple, she knows it's going up to a conservative court. And if it's for Ripple, she has to justify it and all those things. So just be patient. We're almost at the end. Everybody have a great night. See you next week.
There you go. Shout out to John Deaton. I mean, you just can't lay it out any better than that. And taking a look at laying it out here, shout out to Egg Red Crypto, Crypto Bull 2020, and Dark Defender, who are just regulars here for sharing TA and what's going on with the charts, ladies and gentlemen. And here is discussed. First, it was 48 cents and then 48 cents 70. And then you see here staying above for 3 days, breaking 59 cents first. We could go to 89 cents, then $1.76 are the upcoming targets based on our first wave. If you take a look at this, you could expect to see if things fall out and play out the way the chart suggests. We don't know. And they could play opposite and the charts can fail because sometimes the leading indicators don't play out. It's a matter of percentages, right? So, but if that's the case and it does play out, we could be looking at targets of $1.76 and $3.47, chasing down the all-time high of XRP by the end of this year. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. It's just my digital perspectives. I'll catch all of you on the next one.